But when we now, I think what's really interesting is we go on to start to look at the consumerization of learning and look at some of the more innovative areas that I think are starting to creep into the learning technologies landscape. So I've spoken about the definition of consumerization. Effectively, all it is saying that technologies that started off that affected us in our consumer lives coming into the workspace. And the first one we're going to look at is what we call the rise of the learning app. Now, Netex as a company is interesting for many ways, but one of the ways is that we operate in the corporate space, but also the edtech space, so the use of technologies in schools, in classrooms, in universities, in colleges. And what we've seen is that innovation and technologies have grown at different rates in corporate and edtech, and we're able to offer now hybrid solutions that are taking the best of both worlds. So I think really where edtech stole a march on corporate learning was around this sense of interoperability, the ability to get systems to talk to each other, to create scalability and growth within your software as well. And the other was around the use of learning analytics as well. Now let's take this back to our consumer lives. I thought these studies were really interesting. It's from a study that was released earlier this year. On average, in the UK, we use apps for over 2 hours a day. Now that figure might be skewed by the teenagers in your household, but that's a long time to be using applications on a day-to-day. And I found this one even more staggering. We use, on average, 30 different mobile apps a month. When you start to think about your banking, your fitness, your productivity, your social, then it all probably starts to add up. Now, what we're doing within Netex, within our platform sense, and this is a screenshot of Learning Cloud, is that we've taken an application-based approach because this resonates with learners from their day-to-day lives. And we're trying to give them a comparable experience when they need to access content to perform better within the workspace. And what we also do is we talk about this analogy that it's very much like your TV at home now. And much way with your TV at home, you can choose the packages that you have. So you might want the movies pack, you might want the kids pack or the sports pack. With Learning Cloud, you can choose the pack you want. And you can create personalized learning channels based on what the needs are of specific users within your organization. So one example is we work with a retailer, and they have decided that everybody that works in the stores on the high street, they don't want to give them the LMS, they want maximum engagement, so they're giving them the micro-learning gamified application in there. Because if you're working in this shop on a Saturday and Sunday, do you want to go down the traditional corporate LMS route? But all the people in the head office that are doing the more macro-learning objectives also get access to the LMS as well. But the interesting thing about this is that you can use Netex channels, or you can also add third-party applications within there. And we're doing this, and I did say I wasn't going to show your hands again, by introducing a new technology standard. So who has come across the technology standard LTI? A few. So LTI stands for Learning Tools Interoperability. And it's just starting to come into the corporate space. So it's definitely something I'd urge you to keep your eye on. And I think Learning Cloud was one of the first examples of an LTI compliant platform. And pure and simply what it means is you've got LTI compliant providers, which are the learning apps, and you've got LTI consumers, which are the platforms. And you can get these two systems to integrate very, very easily. All you need is a username and a password. Sorry, 1 second. So, what that means is that rather than having a closed shop LMS, you've got a platform that can grow and scale with your business. Some examples of LTI provider apps, and I should say a caveat here, whereas the consumer app stores have got millions and millions of apps, the learning app stores aren't quite there yet. I think at the last count there were about 300, 350 within the LTI app store. But say, for example, you've got a lot of video within your organization and you want a dedicated video streaming application. Well, Kaltura is available there. Or if you want to, you've got a specific requirement to look at language training for a group within your organization. Well, Rosetta Stone has an LTI compliant app. So you can bring that into the system and create a personalized language training interface for some of your cohorts. Or TED Talks video. There is a growing market for LTI apps, and it's definitely something that I'd urge you to to keep an eye on.